Hello! In the beginning of this video, I will tell you guys a story, so I will begin with that now. So, I used to run a Facebook page for my art, in which I would post my art for people to see it, on Facebook of course, simply to expand my audience, so other people can view my art. But this did not last very long, and you will actually find out why I stopped posting to that page. So, one day I had a message from someone who was actually asking me for a request. She was asking for me to draw something for her for free, of course. So, my response was the obvious, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pass. I only do commissions at the moment. And in response, she happened to say that I should draw for her for free. Only her, though. Nobody else. She would be the sole art receiver. In which I responded something that I'm still glad I managed to say it because it was coherent, it made sense, I still agree with it, but the anxiety of checking my messages after that was too high for me to continue the Facebook account. Anyway, what I said in return was that there are people who are in fact willing to pay me for my services, which is creating art for them, and these people are who I want to do my business with. If someone were to get art from me for free because they asked for it, it would be unfair to the people who would be willing to pay me for my work. Because I'll be really honest, I don't really enjoy drawing for other people 99% of the time. So, what usually does make me enjoy it is the motivation I get when I feel that I owe someone that art because they paid for it. So I don't want this to come off as me saying I don't enjoy doing commissions because they're work for other people, because I do enjoy my commissions. I enjoy them because I have the motivation to do them, and I get that motivation from being paid to do them. Now I'm going to connect this to the point of the video. So the point of this video is for me to have you understand, if you already do not, that art is in fact a luxury. It is not a necessity. You do not need it to survive. You do not need it to live. You do not need it to live comfortably. You do not rely on art in order to be healthy or just to be alive. Things like food, water, homing, those would be necessities, and art is in fact not. Art is simply something, in my case the art I do, something attractive to look at, which is definitely not needed for anyone in the world to live. So, when you want it, you might have to pay for it. You should expect that you have to pay for it if you want art. Especially if you're wanting art very specific to yourself, such as personally made art for you of your own character made by a specific artist that you happen to like. When it comes to a situation like that, which happens to be most commission situations, you definitely need to know that that work should be paid for, and to get it, you need to pay. I have known people in the past to befriend me in order to get free art, and it is honestly the most disheartening feeling to be used for something that you enjoy, only for it to turn into something that you no longer enjoy because someone is kind of draining you of the energy you used to make it so they can have something that they want but don't need, something that you have to put work in to create. And then to feel like the person only wants to be your friend to get that art, that's your only worth, that's all you're worth, that is really disheartening, and it is really cruel on the other side. I have also known people left and right who want free art from artists who aren't willing to pay, which wouldn't be a problem if you were not to try to force that onto other people, that is. As in, It's okay to want art for free. It's okay to not want to pay for art. What's not okay is you going to an artist and telling them that they owe you art because you want it. You are not entitled to anybody's free time. You are not entitled to anyone's work. You are not entitled to anyone's art. At least, not for free. But once you learn that someone is only in this relationship with you for the art, it's kind of crushing. It feels like betrayal, for some people at least. In my case, it kind of felt that way. I of course felt used. I felt a little worthless. I felt a lot of things, none of them good. And it kind of turned into resentment towards the friend that I had who was using me for art. It turned into me acting out on bad thoughts. And when I say that, I mean just basically talking poorly about this friend to my other friends. However, I wouldn't quite call it insulting them. It was simply me telling them the case with the friend who was using me for art, and me saying, I don't really like that this person uses me for art. They make me feel bad. And I engaged in basically gossip with my other friends, rather than just saying this to the friend that I had. And in my case, there was a reason for that. For other cases, I would highly suggest that you talk it out with the person trying to use you for the free art. In my case, why I didn't bring it to that friend was because I had brought it to that friend. I had mentioned it to that friend multiple occasions. I always said, I feel a little used. I feel like you only talk to me when you want something from me. And so I would get the usual apology that I'm so sorry, I didn't mean that. But what really showed that this friend wasn't quite sorry happened to be that they continued to do it many, many times. This lasted over a couple of years, and as you can tell, the friendship is no longer a thing. It's no longer a thing because I no longer wanted to put up with that. I no longer wanted to be used as an art machine for someone. I no longer wanted to be used for something that I was no longer enjoying, which was drawing for this friend. I'm sorry about the rant, but I felt like it was pretty relevant to the story I told in the beginning of the video. But it also relates to the main point, which is that art is of course a luxury. You don't need it to live. You don't need it to be comfortable. And if you really want it, expect to pay. You may not always have to pay, but under most circumstances, to ensure that you'll be getting that art, you will have to pay. Now, another thing relating to the second story would be, please do not try to befriend someone on the sole basis of wanting art from them. It kind of makes you a jerk, a scummy person. You're kind of using someone for something that they rightfully should be paid for. If you really want art, but you don't have money, and especially if you're an artist yourself, offer your own services in return. Maybe an art trade. There are, of course, other things you can offer in return, whatever you're good at. There are people who will take characters in return for art. There are people who will take other creative outlets in return for art. There are so many things you could compensate with. Basically, what I'm saying is that nobody on this earth owes you art for free, so please do not feel that that is the case. You'll be draining yourself, you'll be draining others, you'll be draining the artists you're dragging into this. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the stories, and I hope this could help you feel a little better about your art or your own stories that happen to be similar. So thank you for watching the video, and I will see you guys soon.